Opta have ranked the 30 best football teams in the world using their power rankings. Teams like Manchester United and Tottenham don't even make the top 20 despite their status as one of the Premier League's Big Six. The top 10 teams include Manchester City and Newcastle United following the latter's Carabao Cup success. What makes a team the best in the world? It's a rather subjective question. Sure, the amount of wins and trophies a club has won in recent times can be a good indicator, but in a sport where anyone could beat anyone, it feels like a tough ask to pick just one team that trumps the rest. After all, comparing teams from different leagues requires pure guesswork. As a prime example, Manchester United have never locked horns with Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr. And while many may think the former would easily come out on top, it's practically impossible to know full well. Admittedly, it's subjective and there is technically no right or wrong answer, but everyone could use some help from the folks over at Opta, who have calculated, and recently updated, their power rankings. Using an ELO algorithm which analyzes results from over 2.5 million games, a rating is then assigned to that team which is comparable to other sides across the world. Points are determined by in-league ratings, the overall rating of a division, a country's rating among others, and the rating of the continent a team plays in. With all that in mind, here are the 30 best teams in world football as things stand, how well they've performed in European competitions in seasons gone by, and exactly why they are placed where they are. Kicking off proceedings is Spanish outfit Villarreal, who are managed by Marcelino Garcia Toral in the nation's top division. A recent addition to the top 30 is Marco Silva's Fulham, who are in 29th. The West London side are having an impressive season and have a real chance of securing European football for next season. They are followed by Italian side AS Roma, who are 7th in Serie A as things stand. The Italian side sit just below Europa League hopefuls Manchester United, whose fall from grace is accentuated by their place in the standings as they sit in 27th. Ruben Amorim will hope that is not the case this time next year. AC Milan, in yesteryear, were the team to beat in Europe and, subsequently, in Italy too, but it's safe to say that's no longer the case. The Rossoneri, as things stand, are fighting for their lives smack bang in the middle of Italy's top tier. Fellow Serie A side Bologna, who are fighting for a spot in the Champions League next season, find themselves 25th. Elsewhere, Terry's Sporting CP at the summit of Liga Portugal, and here, they are 24th with an overall, more than impressive score of 90. 8. They struggled somewhat in the infancy of the new manager's direction, perfectly encapsulated by their 5-1 defeat to Arsenal, but have turned their fortunes on their head, having accrued a 11-game unbeaten streak in all competitions recently. Premier League underdogs Bournemouth have enjoyed a strange season. They were once viewed as the top flight's outside shout of competing in Europe next season, but Andoni Iraola has experienced something of a dip, something they'll be hoping to eradicate between now and the conclusion of the 2024-25 campaign. Once again from the Premier League, Brighton and Hove Albion's Fabian Hurtzler have proven not to be overwhelmed by the fact he is the youngest permanent manager in Premier League history, but a recent dip in form have cost them a place higher on this list. The final team just missing out on a place in the top 20 is Benfica, who are neck and neck with Sporting CP at the summit of Liga Portugal. From seemingly out of nowhere, Nuno Espirito Santo's Nottingham Forest are in with a chance of making history by securing Champions League football despite having had to fight against relegation last season. Should they secure their return to Europe's elite competition, you can expect the Garibaldi to climb even further. Also breaking into the top 20 are last season's Champions League finalists Borussia Dortmund, which may come as quite a shock, while the once dominant side in Italy, Juventus, boast a rating of 91.5. As such, they slipped to 19th after just making it into Serie A's top 4 as of April 2025 and a disappointing display in the Champions League. Gone are the days when the Old Lady were one of the best clubs on the continent and the far superior team in their nation. Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace sits 17th. The Eagles are looking to win a major trophy for the first time in their history, with all eyes on their FA Cup campaign. They're also tough to beat in league form. Elsewhere, Athletic Club slot into 16th position, with the Spanish club hoping to earn Europa League winner status by the end of the term. The continent's second-tier competition is set to get underway, but who, according to Opta, are the favourites? Gian-Piero Gasperini's Atalanta are the team to watch in Italy. Spearheaded by the enigmatic Ademola Lookman, the Italian side shocked everyone by ending Bayer Leverkusen's chances of an undefeated campaign in all competitions when they beat them in the Europa League final last season. They have since continued that red-hot form and sit third in Serie A. Perhaps hard done by to miss out on a spot in the top 10 are Antonio Conte Napoli. The Italian Giants, helped by the addition of Scott McTominay and his all-action performances, are sitting second in the Serie A domestic league. When at the races, they look unstoppable, but their lack of European football damages their overall ranking, 14th on 92. 6. Here. Bundesliga champions Bayer Leverkusen just slip out of the top 10 and into 13th. What Xabi Alonso has done at Bayer Leverkusen is beyond explanation. Their last gasp 2-2 draw against Roma in the Europa League gave them the longest European unbeaten run of all time, but they stumbled at the last hurdle to secure a historic treble. They aren't quite at the same level this season, but are still an impressive outfit. Chelsea also make it into the top 20 and, after an up-and-down start to Enzo Maresca's reign, find themselves in 12th, but their European pedigree this season keeps them afloat. Under Maresca's reign, the Blues look to finally be heading in the right direction on all fronts but have hit a bump in the road and are now at risk of missing out on Champions League football next term. Diego Simeone led Atletico Madrid stand alone with a score of 94. 1. The Spanish side, who suffered an agonizing defeat in the Champions League playoff round against fierce rivals Real Madrid, are locked in a three-way battle for the La Liga title with their city rivals and Barcelona. The top 10 are made up of the creme de la creme of world football, though every team here, unsurprisingly, resides in Europe. In 10th comes Aston Villa. Unai Emery has continuously impressed with the job he's managed at Villa Park, taking the Premier League outfit from top-half hopefuls to a Champions League-level outfit. Just in front are fellow top-flight outfit Newcastle United, who celebrated their first major trophy in 7 decades when they bested Liverpool to win the 2024-25 Carabao Cup thanks to goals from Dan Burn and Alexander Isak. In 8th place, after exiting the Champions League, Carlo Ancelotti's star-studded side had a hard time clicking with Jude Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe in the same team, and it's somewhat not paid off yet. That said, they've also not been at their best domestically, and have a lot of work to do if they are to retain their league title. A defeated Champions League semi-finalist, Bayern Munich, have a rating of 96. 4 as Vincent Kompany looks to regain the top-flight trophy after their dominant decade-long run in the Bundesliga came to an end last term. Harry Kane's side failed to meet the expectations many had come to expect of the Bavarians as they lost out on the league title, but this season, they've come back with a furious vengeance and look like the team to beat. Manchester City have long been seen as the team to beat in Europe, ever since Pep Guardiola cemented his style of play at the Etihad. However, a downturn in performances, accompanied by a winless run of 7 games for the first time in the Spaniards' career, were the first warning signs that things aren't as perfect as ever, and has also meant that City have fallen down in the pecking order. Including Man City and rivals Man United, we have outlined the greatest Champions League teams of all time. An extremely impressive current campaign for Barcelona, under the fresh stewardship of Hansi Flick and his well-drilled entourage, has the Catalan giants in third place. Lamine Yamal is looking almost destined to become the best player in the world one day, while Rafinha and Robert Lewandowski are more than playing their respective parts in Flick's pursuit of glory. What's more impressive is how limited the La Liga side have been in terms of recruitment, due to their financial struggles. Paris Saint-Germain may have lost Kylian Mbappé to Real Madrid, but they are still 4th in terms of their ranking, 98. 7. The League One juggernauts have already secured the league title with a new-look side, led by Luis Enrique, and are one of the leading favourites in Europe's most prestigious competition. Inter Milan surprised everyone by reaching the Champions League final in 2022-23 and finished last season, largely thanks to one of Europe's top performers, Lautaro Martinez, as champions of Italy for the 30th time in their history. They have followed that up with a strong 24-25 campaign, and with a 3-point gap to Napoli at the top, it is still all to play for in the race for the Scudetto. Having come so close to Premier League success 2 campaigns on the bounce, Mikel Arteta and his well-drilled entourage will be hoping to end Arsenal's silverware drought under the Spaniard when the current season ends. Whether that will be the case, however, remains to be seen, with the Champions League Arsenal's last hope. That leaves Liverpool in top spot, which is a true testament to how well Arne Slot has done in taking over from the seemingly irreplaceable Jurgen Klopp. Many believed the Dutchman would have to undergo a period of transition at Anfield, but consistent form and the inconsistency of others has meant that the Reds are flying high in the Premier League and are deservedly the kings of the castle in world football right now, despite their failure on the Champions League stage.